Welcome back to the trials, the USA Outdoor Track and Field Championships. Under gray skies, we come to you from Eugene, Oregon, Hayward Field. Gray skies today, but yesterday things a little brighter, and the spotlight was shining on the men's 1,500-meter race. Here's the way the race was run. We are set now for one of the glamour events of the meet, the men's 1,500-meter race. Hicham El Guerrouj with the world record set in Rome in 1998, the time 3:26. And despite all of the attention paid to Alan Webb, he is not the only man running.
That's true. 2000 Olympian Gabe Jennings will be a senior at Stanford, has been inspired by Alan Webb's exploits of late, and says he's come in here reinvigorated and expects to make this team, in fact, expects to win this race.
And a homecoming for Brian Berryhill, the NCAA champion.
Yeah, he won the NCAA championships a couple weeks ago here, and it is, in fact, a homecoming for him because he was not recruited by the University of Oregon, and I'm sure when he was running down the home stretch with those Colorado State colors, he was saying, see what you guys missed out. He's been running very well.
And Alan Webb.
Tremendous amount of pressure on this young man at the Prefontaine meet just 3 weeks ago. Shattered Jim Ryan's high school record in the 1,500 as well as the mile. Many expecting him to do very well, make the team, and perhaps even win this race.
Now the list of competitors in the men's 1,500-meter, Webb, Berryhill, and Jennings, Seneca Lassiter, Paul McMullen, Ibrahim Aden, Andy Downin, among those who are running. But all of us wondering how well Alan Webb will compete. Here's Berryhill.
And Vern, what is really good news about what's happening in American middle distance running, you've got an 18-year-old in Alan Webb, a 23-year-old in Brian Berryhill, and a 24-year-old in Seneca Lassiter. Really, and Gabe Jennings at just 22 with another year of college remaining. Really a new group of middle distance runners in this country that might take us back to where we used to be back in the 60s.
And needed, don't you think?
No question about that. And that's what I think everybody is so much pressure being put on Alan Webb to really usher in a new era. And let's talk about the fact that there's some very good runners in this race who have made Olympic teams. Paul McMullen in 1996 was on the team. And I really believe a lot of pressure being put on these youngsters. Let's see how the veterans perform.
As expected, it's Berryhill running first and Paul McMullen second. Ibrahim Aden is third, and Seneca Lassiter, oft injured, is running fourth right now.
And as you mentioned about Alan Webb, it also has been a wake-up call for some of those veterans. They've been verbal in the sense that, what are they looking at this kid for? We're out there, and it's caused some of these athletes, and as you see Webb running at the back of the pack right now, some of these athletes said, we're out there, we've been running well, and perhaps it's time for us to come back and show who's boss in this race.
Berryhill, McMullen, Andy Downin has moved into third now, young man who ran collegiately for Georgetown.
And Webb doing much the same as he did at the Prefontaine meet, running his race second to last right now. He was last at the 458.3. He came through at around 59.5. So he's pacing himself intelligently like he did at the Prefontaine meet.
Pack is tightly bunched. You can also keep your eye. Gabe Jennings very easily to identify. There he is running in the sunglasses.
The long hair flowing. He said in our last two broadcasts it was his last meet of the year.
Right.
At the NCAA meets, that's it. Then he ran at the U.S. Open, did not run well there, but says he put in a 116-mile week and a 100-mile week, and that he's ready. Also remember that these guys are trying to chase a standard as well. The top three will make the U.S. team as they go through in 157.8, and you see Alan Webb there back at about 159 flat. Even though they finished in the top three, made the U.S. team, they've got to run 3:36.20 or better by July the 23rd, or anyone in this field who has that standard will actually go to the World Championships.
And there are only two men in this field who have that standard, one of whom is Gabe Jennings, and the other is his Stanford teammate, Michael Stember, who's running back in the pack.
Both of who were on the U.S. team at the Olympics in Sydney.
And perhaps that's another reason why Gabe Jennings decided to run in this competition. He had said his season was over, and he knew that if he came in this competition, finished well enough with one of the only ones who had the standard, perhaps he could go. As Gabe Jennings goes into the lead.
Gabe Jennings making a move, passes Berryhill.
I got to wonder if that's a little early for Jennings. He looked so flat at the Stanford meet a couple of weeks ago, but look at the gap that he just put on Berryhill. Berryhill, a classic front runner, a guy who needs the standard. Many feel that he should be on this team, but look at Jennings. He's opened up almost 10 meters, and now Alan Webb's got to get on his horse because he's way back.
It was at this point that Webb made his move in the Prefontaine.
He's back in 7th place and has some ground to make up. As you just see him on the right of the screen, but Gabe Jennings still a nice lead, but Berryhill, Lassiter, and Stenberg closing the gap.
Jennings has that very, very tight stride. As you see, the other athletes are really closing down on him. Will he have enough?
Alan Webb currently 7th, might have too much ground to make up. Jennings still leading. Here comes Seneca Lassiter. And running on the outside, it's Andy Downin now making a move and grabs it at the tape.
Well, with all the pressure on this young man, Alan Webb, who ends up 5th and runs a very good race in extremely good company, Andy Downin is able to time his sprint finish beautifully. All of those athletes in front of him. He still had plenty of kick left. 7 people running for the top 3 spots, and the ex-Georgetown Hoya times his kick exactly perfectly as Gabe Jennings was dying on the inside and steals the race, makes the U.S. team.
I'll tell you, the race was won coming down the home stretch. You see Gabe Jennings on the inside. He takes a glance over. He knows he's out of gas. There's Seneca Lassiter in the blue, and then also Downin on the outside. He's out in lane 3, and he knows all he has to do is dive for the tape. Perhaps Seneca Lassiter thought beating Jennings would be enough.
Ladies and gentlemen, top 10 in the United States, 12 times.
Andy Downin, what a shocking victory, 28 years of age. A fine race, though, run by Alan Webb at 18. He winds up with a 5th place finish. Downin the victory in a shocker. Seneca Lassiter 2nd, Paul McMullen grabs 3rd, and we go down to Spencer Tillman with Alan Webb.